All right, Michael Scott, we're talking to you now. You got to hear us talk about our nonsense for half the show. Now we're going to talk to you. So I found this guy on TikTok because there was a trend that came out a few weeks ago where somebody took a clip of Family Matters and it became a trend because people would it was like the music of Family Matters. It was like when 90s sitcoms, when you're caught with alcohol or your first drink or whatever, and it would go to like commercial break and it had that dramatic music. I wish I had a clip. I didn't pull it, but it had that dramatic music right before the commercial break. So that became a trend. A lot of people were doing it. It was only like a 7-second thing. Well, this guy started to double down on it and make like full episodes. He was doing on TikTok that were like 90s spoofs, but he's writing everything, all the scripts. Like it felt like you're watching a 90s sitcom.
For sure.
First off, when did you start doing TikTok and your social media journey?
So I started creating skits when I was 17. 22 now.
Okay.
I'll be 23 next month. But I started making
Happy
skits.
birthday. Happy early birthday.
Appreciate it. I started making skits at 17.
Yeah.
And it was just for Snapchat. Like I just post the skits. Same type of thing I do now, just much better now.
Right.
Of course. And I kind of took a break from it. And 2020 happened and COVID came through.
Right.
And swept everything away. So I'm like, okay, what am I going to do to stay active while trying to be an actor?
Right.
I'm going to create skits on TikTok. And it's been rolling ever since.
What was the first video that you posted, the first skit that you posted that got you a bunch of followers?
So the first thing I posted was very vulgar.
Yeah.
I was making straight dark humor stuff.
Oh, you're Clark.
Dude,
you're doing Clark.
You're not going to.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
So it was like some little crazy thing. And like I had a bra thrown on me by my stepmom.
Oh, okay.
And people like ate it.
I've seen that video. Yeah.
For sure. For sure. I think we've all
I mean, I've seen videos like it.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it took off. And ever since then, I just was like, okay, if you guys like that, I got some more for you.
So that was your first video?
First video.
And it took off?
Took off.
So you're like Jerry Seinfeld, because Seinfeld said when he went up and did stand-up for the very first time, most comedians fail miserably,
yeah.
For the first several years sometimes. Seinfeld said he got up there and he killed it. And, I'm sure he bombs from time to time, but he killed it this first time and just never looked back.
That's crazy.
So you're kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, but it's a blessing also to just be able to do what I'm doing. Because at first, when I first started doing it, I had an exact idea of where I wanted this to go and everything. But the way that it's been happening is like, okay, I'm really in control of this ship,
Right.
It's a beautiful thing.
Let's talk about your acting journey, though. So when did you start acting? In 17 or before?
So the same year I was creating skits, and I was set on going to the NFL. That was my life. I wanted to play football for a living. That started not working. So
same with me. I was going to play football up until a tragic accident took my leg or broke my leg.
Don't listen to this guy. He doesn't even know what a safety is.
Got you.
Whether that be a score or a position, he doesn't.
That's when you pass gas, right?
Yeah.
Safety.
It's that thing on the gun.
Right.
But it's crazy. Like I was going to go to the league. Like that was my whole thing. Like, yeah, I'm going to be a football player, wide receiver.
Yeah.
And that just did not happen. Not even in the slightest. So I'm like, what am I going to do? Because I was at school at this time. I was a freshman in college. I'm like, what am I going to do?
What was your major?
At first, when I first got there, was biology.
Okay.
Terrible. I would not recommend that.
I'm playing Bully on my little Steam Deck.
Okay.
And I'm in biology class and I'm passing it. And you get to take the little frog. You cut out the frog liver and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I never did that. And somehow I skipped that in high school.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I thought it was cool. I wanted to be a veterinarian, like all my life. And I'm like, Michael Scott's Veterinary Emporium. That was what that was my whole thing. And I got to school and I'm like, yo, this shit is hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I want to do this for 4 years just to not like it anymore.
Right.
So I started watching this little show called Stranger Things. And I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, these are children. You know what I mean? These are like little kids. And they're only a couple years younger than me, but y'all are still younger than me. And I'm like, yo, if y'all can do this stuff, I can do it. And like, I got a call from my dad that same day, and he was like, hey, do you want to go to acting classes?
Just out of the blue?
Out of the blue, I swear to God.
Wow.
I swear to God, out of the blue. I had actually just ran into my acting coach at a restaurant, Benihana's, and he was there, and we just kind of talked, little running. We just ran into each other. And like I said, my dad called me a couple weeks and was like, hey, you trying to act? I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
So everything just lined up perfectly.
Just like that.
Wow.
Like, just like that. And when it came to just creating content, it was like, I was just straight acting.
Yeah.
Going to acting classes, trying to be in films, auditioning. And I'm like, whoa, I can make my own stuff now and put myself in a light that people would probably like to see me in.
Right.
So I just did that and added my siblings. I got three siblings. I got 2 twin brothers and I have a little sister. So it's like, that's my cast and crew right there.
Yeah.
And I got my girlfriend. She's my production assistant. You know,
right.
we come, we go do, you know. So it all worked out.
You shot a video, you were telling me before the show, that it's filmed in a jail cell.
Yeah.
And you rented out like an actual set to film these skits.
Yeah, so Prophecy Studios.
Okay.
It's like towards the Mesquite area.
Okay.
But yeah, he has a great setup over there. It's a lot of sets in there. But he popped up. My friend was like, "Hey, bro, I got a studio that we can go shoot this in. I know we can shoot it at.
Yeah.
Just see if they got the jail cell that you need." And they had it. So I'm like, "Yeah, let's go."
So are you writing the scripts before you shoot? As far as like for us, we get an idea and we start shooting it and we figure it out from there, which is probably a terrible way to do stuff. But you're like, I want to do this scene because this is what I want to do. So we're working with the stuff that we see around the studio, basically.
Gotcha.
But you're coming up with stuff and then trying to find how to make that idea come to life, right?
Like literally, you hit it on the head. Like I'm treating this like film and television. Like you know, you have an idea of that. I'm treating it straight like TV. You know, I set up the script. I hit up at first when I started off, it was just me and my siblings. So I don't have to see anybody's availability. These are my brothers. You know, we do this when we need to.
He's like, I'm busy. Like, turn the PlayStation off.
Yeah.
I'm shooting this real quick.
They do PC like gaming. So
yeah. I'm so sorry. My brothers do too. And I disowned them a long time ago.
Like, man, turn that off. Come on, let's go shoot this. And you can play again. We'll get, 100,000 views. You'll be happy.
Yeah.
But, I write it. And now that I've added other actors, I have to hit up people for like, hey, what's your availability?
Right.
And then we kind of go over the lines a little bit. Does that sound good? Rolling off your tongue? How does that sound? And it's just over the phone. Yeah. And then I usually will meet them or, when we get on set and it just goes from there.
Would you say your biggest thing right now, I mean, since I've followed you, the majority of the videos I see are your 90s sitcom stuff that comes up, which I enjoy the most, which I haven't really explored everything, your older stuff, but I really enjoy that because that's the stuff I grew up on. And the way you do it, the acting style, the music, how you're doing the sound effects, what makes his so different from everybody else is he'll also throw in at the commercial break, like commercials that would play during that time, like go to the general and save some time, things like that, like State Farm, Like a Good Neighbor plays, and then you throw in the little like the PG rating on the side, like he does all this extra stuff to make it feel like you're really watching something from the 90s
on TV. Yeah.
What was the inspiration for that? Because you saw everyone doing the trend, and you're like, all right, what can I do with this?
So it really was just being in the house, like even as a child and even now, like I get my alone time and I'm watching stuff and I'm not just watching it, but I'm ingesting it. Like I'm taking this in, like just like you said, you grew up on it. I mean, I kind of did. I was born in 99. So when I was growing up, I was watching reruns. I didn't get to see Steve Urkel really in his prime making stuff. I didn't get to see Family Matters. I saw the reruns. Right. And the reruns had 2000s commercials. Right. So I'm watching freaking...
That's how I knew you were young, because here's the other thing. When he was doing these videos, the little TV rating didn't come out until like early 2000s. They didn't start doing that until that time. And then the commercials he was picking, I'm like, that's like early 2000s commercials. So I'm like, this guy's got to be young. But it makes sense, though. I would still be watching the reruns at that time, too. And it felt right.
Absolutely. And I've gotten a lot of comments. I've gotten thousands of comments of like, hey, these aren't 90s commercials. And I said, I never said that there was going to be a 90s commercial. Right. It's just the 90s sitcom. Right. The commercials are 2000s. Right. But that's just what I grew up on. So I'm not just making this for y'all. Like, I honestly make it for me, too. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, just like everybody's feeling that comforting, like, it just felt like I just woke up with a bowl of cereal on a Saturday morning and I'm all 7 years old again, or something like that. I'm doing that same thing. I
mean, I go home, sometimes I get to a point where I'm like, I just want to watch Full House or I want to watch Family Matters right before I go to bed. And it does feel like it transports me back in time to where I was like 8 years old in the living room watching TV and with the blanket on. And I like that. There's a comfort about it. And there was something about those shows, too, that we don't really see as much anymore, where there was like a simplistic moral message in that episode. Bob Saget comes in, sits next to Stephanie Tanner, and he's like, well, what did we learn today? We know, that kind of thing. These guys are older than me, and they were watching it first run. I was watching first run, second run. You're watching second and third runs. Right. We all relate to these shows so much, and it all means the same thing to all of us, essentially, Right.
It's in your household. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's... For most of us, we have our safe spaces in our home. Yeah. And it's like, this is a show that comes on and I'm able to just kick back and honestly let go and just enjoy this until it's over. Once it's over, now we're back to real life. It's kind of a similar feeling.
What's your favorite 90s sitcom?
Martin.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Martin, without a doubt.
What about you, Mike?
Family Matters.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be Steve Urkel.
Did you want to be Stefan Urkel?
No. I wanted to be Steve. Because I like the way he is. He had suspenders, and I love those suspenders. And I wanted to. So I used to I grew up in the hood, and I used to dress up like Steve Urkel because I thought that was cool. That was what I wanted. I would wear like the loudest shirt, and my shorts. I would tuck the t-shirt into the shorts and wear them up to my chest, and never got beat up. So that was a miracle.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, if you don't think there's a God, there's proof right there.
See, back then it was very bully nerd, big, big bully nerd, the jock rivalry, football player type of deal. So I bit off of that too when it came to because the first one I ever did was actually based off of Family Matters.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was an episode where Eddie needed to take a test and Steve didn't show up because he was sick.
Right,
and he was supposed to give Eddie the answers.
Right, that
was an episode I watched so long ago, but it just popped up in my brain and I just wanted to recreate it somehow.
Are those your most popular videos right now? Would you say?
Yeah, I guess you can say that. I mean, I've been doing numbers for a while. I'm not even gonna try to, but I've been creating content that people have liked. But this is the light that I've been wanting people to see me in all along.
Right.
This is what I really have been wanting to.
This is the stuff you're most proud of right now.
Yeah, I haven't really been able to show my acting ability in my previous content, but now I'm really able to tap in and show you guys hey, I can actually act. Yeah. So if you see me on TV for real, you'll be like, oh yeah, he's nice. He's like that,
When I make the straight to TV movie about my whole interaction with the door guy at that club, I'm going to hire you to play the door guy.
For sure.
You already you got the role.
Sure.
You got the role. You're going places, kid.
Yeah, all you have to say is, I can't let you in.
And just laugh at everything I say.
With those track pants.
Could you imagine? I was even more amped up because I just come from a comedy show. I had probably 2 Red Bulls in me. And so I'm all animated, throwing my hands there. Where you letting this guy in? And blah, blah, blah. It was a whole show. They loved it.
Voice getting all high.
Yeah. That's why I barely have a voice today. What's the plan? What do you want to take what you're doing right now, these 90s sitcom skits? What do you want to do with that?
I'm going to be real honest. I want to be one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
Ever. I don't have to be the greatest. I just want to be one of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you're naming the top guys, you're naming the big dogs, Denzel, Samuel Jackson, Jamie Foxx, Michael Scott.
Yeah.
Just like that. Or Michael J. Scott.
Right.
Or Mikey
Scott.
However you want to call me, you know what I mean? I'm just in that.
That would be me. I know him. I call him Mikey.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you don't know him.
Yeah.
No, that's Mikey.
You know when you made it, though? Is when you're able to go to a club wearing a tracksuit.
Yeah, let me in.
Yeah.
No issues.
And we're going to take a picture together one day when you're famous. And I'm going to be like, listen, I know this guy. And please let me in.
You'll be right next to me screaming.
Yeah.
They're going to let you in then.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to let you in.
If people are not following you already, where should they? Because you're on TikTok, right? That's your biggest platform, would you say?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah, TikTok. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Officialmikeyj2.